Okay, let me see what meeting this is, what day it is. Okay,
Yours is June 18th.
everybody got their mic on? Yep, okay. Okay, it's, oh, there's Speedy. 10 o'clock. I'm up. I forgot what I'm supposed to say. We're adjourning the, or no, we're I'm telling you, I've been doing so much research lately, I'm brain dead. We're opening the meeting of the Heritage Commission on June 18th. Okay.
Looks to be all present, aside from Karen Nagel. All right.
Okay, let's say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. So we do have we've got a really long meeting, so approval for the agenda?
Do we need to approve the agenda?
I
No,
mean-
we just need to approve the minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says approval of agenda, okay.
Yeah, sorry, that was on the outline. I wasn't sure what that meant.
Of me neither. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I
That was,
just,
Okay, all right.
Min-
So we have the minutes for the May 21st, 2024 Heritage Commission meeting, which was a makeup. And we also we just had one meeting last month or two?
we did two on the same
Two.
day
Yeah, okay.
to make up for the one that we
Okay,
didn't have a
so-
quorum.
So
Back
we
to back.
actually have, so we actually had two meetings?
2 minutes,
two
meetings,
sets?
yeah.
Okay.
One of them wasn't on YouTube. The second one didn't make it to YouTube. Because I always rewatch it to make notes for what I said I was going to do and I don't
Because all the
remember.
video links appear for me.
Okay, okay.
I'll double check it.
Yeah, it would be the first one's there, but I couldn't find the second one.
Okay.
Unless maybe it, well, no, it
Because I
may
use the
adjourn.
videos to do my minutes.
Yeah.
so,
Okay.
yeah.
Because we
Okay.
do a lot of talking in these.
I'll make a motion that we adopt and accept the minutes from the May 21st, 2024 Heritage Commission meeting as well, which was at 10 a.m., as well as the 11 a.m. meeting, which was a makeup meeting for the March 26, 2024 Heritage Commission meeting, which did not take place because we didn't have a quorum. So I'll make a motion that we accept both those meetings minutes.
Anybody want a second?
Second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unopposed.
Okay. So, old business. So this is, our agenda has actually grown in the last couple weeks since I made this agenda. So we've got the Pop-Up Museum in Chautauqua event. Have we come up with a firm date for that? We were looking at 2 weekends in May for the pavilion to be.
Yeah, we're gonna check the pavilion.
I'm so sorry. I was out last week, so
I know.
I
Well, we can, you know, if
I
you-
assumed that there would be an email going back and forth. Maybe I was wrong. I'll check my dates and I'll get something
Okay.
to you guys by this afternoon.
okay.
Because once we have a calendar date and we know we have the pavilion secured, then we can go into gear as to all the things that need to take place. Because we're going to need a lot of the outside, crew, public works for that event.
Right, and we were looking at May 3rd and 4th, the week of, is that correct?
Hi.
Yes.
For the Chicago event?
Yes.
The 3rd and 4th through the 5th and 6th. The first week of May is what I have written
The
down.
first
Or
week.
the 15th through the 16th, the 3rd week.
Right.
Yeah, weekend,
Okay.
yes.
Just want to make sure I've got those right. I will have an answer for you on which will be available by this afternoon.
Right,
I
but
know-
so that you can schedule better,
Absolutely.
the 15th, 16th, or the 3rd, 4th is the weekend.
Okay.
We're gonna need
The whole week.
the crew 2 days before and then 2 days after, or at least one day after for, taking everything down, and setting everything up and what that looks like, So for their scheduling purposes, we need more than just the two
Right.
days.
I think we
And
discussed
we'll
that at
need
the last meeting.
Right, and we need the pavilion for more than 2 days because we're gonna have everything set up prior to and really not taken down until after the event, so.
I think a couple considerations were Mother's Day,
Right.
and then also the motorcycle competition.
Right.
Which they have not finalized their dates yet, so you guys come first, so here we are.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I would think because it's outside and earlier is better,
Mhm.
and, away from Memorial Day.
Yes.
So our preference would be that first weekend.
Right, that'd be
I've
great.
got a big star by the first week of May, and again, I'll have that out to you guys by 4 p.m. today.
Okay. Is there, could we maybe by the end of the meeting, just look at the calendar?
I mean, I don't know, I don't have staff, so
Okay.
you're gonna have to wait for the meeting to end for me to do this.
Okay, well, we just discussed it last meeting, so,
Again, and I was out last week, so I'd assumed staff would have reached out, but they didn't, so I'll have to take care of that at the
Okay.
meeting.
thank you.
Okay, with that event, there are a couple things that have come up, and we want to add to that event a couple of our other things that are on our agenda. One of them is the memorial project, the presentation, to have the families there and stuff, and do a presentation for the police officers, Keystone police officers, police department, and the fire department. Oh, there's Karen. Anyway, that's one thing, if we can have that for a deadline and have it made and presented so that the families can come to that particular event. And then also, the memory project for recording, recording people's memories of the town. LaDonna had one on the Heritage Commission before down at the pavilion, where people came and they recorded, and I have the videotape. And I'm not quite sure how to send that much. I'm gonna have to talk to Stephanie about how I send that large a file. I have it, I know, it's video.
Yeah, I don't know, I would have to Google it.
It's all embedded in, Steve gave me a copy of his files, and it's in those files, but a lot of the files are kind of jumbled, so I'm finding them, So as soon as I finish pulling them out.
I could try to help, but I'm not a
Okay.
tech person.
That's okay, I'll find a tech person.
We can try to do that. We can even try to utilize who does our IT. Maybe
Yeah.
they will have a way to show
Well,
me
if we
how to.
reach out to Kim Morgan, who is on the tourism
Oh, yeah,
board,
Miss Kim would probably.
she would have staff that would be able to do the videos maybe, and then they can edit.
Well,
And so if there's all this editing for stop, start, and,
Right.
discussion and things that really are not pertinent to their actual talk,
Mhm.
that will reduce the length of anything probably by half.
well, it's not
Yeah.
just that. I was contacted by Mr. Ed Bennett and his wife, and they're in their mid-90s.
Right, and I'm already working on a proclamation for them, so
Right.
outside of that, I don't know what else.
Well, that's what kind of started this whole thing. We need to interview them, and it needs to be on, and they used to do it, so.
Not to interrupt,
Okay.
but I actually ran into Kim Morgan this weekend at the new fields in Middleburg, and there was an ultimate frisbee tournament going on. So, they have this whole focus on Keystone stories and telling the stories of Keystone Heights.
Well, it's county stories.
County stories, okay, but for us, focusing on Keystone Heights, thank you. And I mentioned to her, what you said about the Bennetts, and she was just enthralled with that idea, and they would love to help facilitate capturing that.
All right,
Yes.
good,
She
yay.
did actually a whole presentation for us last Thursday,
Uh-huh.
and so, that was before I had heard about the Bennetts, but, we were talking originally about just the tree.
Yeah.
And the stories that go on because of our 100-year-old tree back there. And, you know, think about all the wedding pictures that were taken, graduation pictures that were taken. People just did family pictures out of that tree. And those stories, they're stories.
Yeah.
So that's why I had mentioned to her when, you know, because I hadn't even thought about the Bennetts, you know.
And you
but-
mentioned there was maybe another 90-year-old person.
They're Al Watson.
Okay.
They interviewed Al
They
Watson.
interviewed for the Heritage Commission years ago.
Years ago, yeah. So the CD still exists. It's in the archives. I'll pull it out and see what kind of information's on there. That's one of I want to spend about a week or a couple days in the archives.
Well, we don't, I don't know if the intention was to have somebody from the city interview, but we don't.
No, we would do the interview. We just need the tech for recording it.
Well, and it sounds like the county might do it.
Yeah,
The county might
if
do
the
it.
county will do it,
Because
that's
that's
great.
their program that they're really
Right.
trying to
Okay,
roll
well, I
out
was
right
gonna say,
now
the
is
city
the
really doesn't have
stories.
the tech. I record everything that you see at events on
They
my cell
do.
phone.
The
Well, if
county
we could
does.
get the county to do
The
it.
county would be great.
So
Right,
one
yeah.
thing-
So reaching back out to Kim, since you ran into her and told her about this,
Yeah.
I think that would be
So
ideal.
her idea was maybe do a group setting, you know, maybe
You
with
got this for a
different
second. Let me wrap
backdrops
this
as you
proclamation
change
for them.
people to interview them and whatnot, maybe at the pavilion, you know?
Well, we need to do Mr. Bennett fairly quickly
Okay.
because he's in his 90s and
They
he
both
and his
are.
wife,
They're so spry though, let me tell you.
they
I've
sounded
seen
spry.
her- Oh, no, I've seen her run upstairs and I'm holding on to the side railing going.
Yeah.
She head waitress at the Keystone Inn.
This is what
She did?
Yeah. And he was on the he said he was on the fire
And it can be
department.
adjusted. I didn't
And he
know
said
what
there are things about it that no one else knows.
Oh my
So we
word.
we really need to get that done.
But that's just a pre-copy, it can be adjusted in any way, I've never written one for a birthday. So please pick it apart as Heritage Commission, if it can be added to, if something can be rewritten differently, if I need to highlight something in particular, I kept it very general. Again, it's my very first one doing it for a milestone birthday.
Is this the same Mrs. Bennett, the Centurion?
Yes, it's gotta be.
So is
I
he
understand
over 100?
I don't know.
No, he's in his
Okay,
Ellen,
he
you
did,
know them
he did
too.
say,
Yeah.
I know they were married in 1932. I spoke to him for a while on the phone and he started going
During
into the
World War II,
stories. And
correct?
yeah, he
They're
was,
lovely. They are lovely people.
and they want to get their stuff recorded. And so, anyway, we need to do this before that, but with their help,
I've given
so.
the mayor their contact information for the family, so I believe I'm gonna check after this meeting as well. Hopefully she'll get with me and let me know when she plans on meeting with the Bennetts to give that proclamation.
Okay.
That's way cool.
Well, so we kind of need someone to spearhead it and work with, I know Samantha's already reached out from the county, but to work with them as far as facilitating a date and things like that.
Right, well,
Forwarded.
I'm doing all the information for the walking tour.
Okay.
I guess I'll be at least the one giving the information, and there again, I have to find out how to transfer that much data to them. I mean, it does seem kind of sloppy to put it on Facebook. I'd like to give them their own copy.
Well, maybe Samantha can help
Right.
with the tech on that.
So I can get with them on both of those things.
Are you, Deirdre, are you working on the stories angle already? Is that? with
No,
your-
I just happened to run into Kim like you did.
Yeah.
She did a presentation on this
Do they have an
exact
office?
thing.
They got an office somewhere that I can go sit down and talk to them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where?
They just opened up one right on that first floor of the admin building.
Okay,
And
so it's,
we're on the fourth floor, they're on the first floor. They really changed the whole thing around
Well, if
down
you're
there.
gonna go talk with them about the walking tour, do you wanna talk with them about the stories? as
yeah,
well?
I'll do that,
About
both of
setting
them.
a date at the pavilion?
It's the Clay County Board of Tourism,
To-
right?
Yeah, to record the interviews.
Yeah, so I'll do the walking tour. And that brings up the walking tour. We've got free flow here going on. The walking tour, I've got a few questions about that. I have right here, now she said they had 16 homes. These are the homes that we have a record. There's a lot more than 16 here. So do we want?
16 homes that are over 100? or 16, we have like a.
No, on her list, she had 16 homes, and this is our list, which is many, many more.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to tell them it's like twice the size that they think it's gonna be.
Well, and also, I mean, do we want to consider whether we just want to concentrate on the homes that are 75 years of age or older?
Oh, no, these are all the ones just built in the 20s.
Okay.
Just,
okay,
just in the 20s.
okay.
And then, you know, maybe what we do is out of those though, we find the ones that have the best architectural details and style that have been preserved and they're not falling apart. You know, like the couple down on my road that
Yeah.
are just like, it's a disaster.
That's
Well,
okay.
also, there's the,
That's a good idea.
on some of them, we're gonna need, like, I think a couple photos, one from the street side, but then one from the lake side, which, you know, shows the best part of the house from the lake side. So there's gonna be even more images per,
And that's gets a little confusing to some people because they'll see these images that we send out and almost all the images are from the lake side of the house and it doesn't look anything like that from the street side. They're like two different houses. And so, you know, especially something like the Cadman house on Lakeview.
right.
I mean, it's night and day. You would never go by that house and think that house that you see in the pictures is the same house.
Well, you've got the J.H. Lawrence house, and I have no idea what it looks like from the lake over
Right.
here, right next to the Smith house. I don't know what it looks like, and it was probably a much better view than the carport and all the trucks. But the people on the walking tour, that's what they're going to see,
Right,
you know, so I think we kind of have to have both,
right.
both.
Have you guys thought about reaching out to Mr. Lorenzo? I'm blanking on his first name right now, but I have a card, and he does professional photography.
Yeah.
And he might be able to get some drone pictures
have
from the
this.
lake side of the house.
That would be
I'll see
great.
if I can find a
Yeah.
copy and I'll email you. some
That's a
information.
great
Thank you.
idea.
Not a problem, not a problem.
Why
is
did
this?
we think of that, Helen?
Who are these people's names at the board of trustees? I know I've got somebody's cards. Samantha, who is this?
I will get you his information today.
Is it Samantha? Samantha who?
I don't have a Samantha, I have a,
At the board of tourism, who's my
oh,
contact?
Kim Morgan.
Kim Morgan.
Oh, yeah, Samantha is her right hand.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I've never talked to Samantha.
I was just thinking, you know, I've never really heard it put in that perspective, and it looks different from the lake side. That makes sense. Not everybody's looking.
Oh, yeah. And the thing, it's sad because I had a lake house on Lake Geneva before I bought this one. And you pull up to nothing but a garage, you know, but that's the way the lake houses are. They put
The
all
views
the
on the
pretty,
outside.
right, the pretty is on the other sides. All right, so that morphed into a lot of stuff. So Clay County can help us with a lot of this stuff. I've got to go see Vichy anyway, so I'll make an appointment.
That's great.
Do what? Yeah. Well, we've got Lindy's house over here. I'm pulling up all my records, and for some reason I had it lodged in my head as the Smith home, and I'm getting ready for the walking tour, and I cut out the original plat, my handwritten tax record information and everything, and I'm going, I don't have anything on this house. How do I not have anything on this house? And I know it's one of the older ones, but it's not, I mean, it's probably like maybe 1930 or something, I don't know, but, and they went and looked, I called her, they went and looked and could not find anything.
And I need your help on the Cadman house.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I need to write up, you know.
Oh, I have
But-
that here, and that was another thing. I went back researching Mr. Cadman. I can do a little, you know, a little blurb, but there's not, because he came here, well, I mean, as far as, I can do the style, the
Sure,
year,
yeah,
all that
right,
kind of stuff.
right.
But about him, himself,
Right.
he came here later on in life, you know, after he retired.
Well, anything you got would be
Okay,
appreciated.
I'll put all that in. It's very, you know, there's not an awful lot. In some of these houses, I've got a huge story on the people, but some
Yeah.
of these, you know, they came here to retire and they were old, so they did not last long.
Starting to sound like they come here to deny.
No, well, you know, as an older person myself, you know, we have plenty of energy until we don't, you know, and so they take on these little projects and, anyway, okay, so, so that covers the memorial for the police and fire department. We've already covered that in the, we do need to, that's further on down. I need to stick with my,
Discuss the,
Can you ask?
pie baking contest?
not yet.
No, we're only on,
We're at
we're
the
at
pop-up.
5, we're at 6A.
6A, we just started. But that memorial, we're gonna have to get together with, and there are a lot of family members and things that are involved with that, as well as Tony Brown, and so we wanna kind of find out what we can do with this, I'm thinking something,
He was supposed to be here today.
yes, he was.
I just looked around, I was like, wait a minute.
And Tony also has a lot of things that we can use for the pop-up museum as well.
He does.
Because
and-
it's his fire memorabilia.
Well, they
Tons of
came,
it.
there was a guy with him at the talk that I gave, and he wants to not just donate it for the museum that day, he wants to donate it to us completely, some pieces from, I want to know what happened to remember the big apparatus that was in front of the fire station? It was their original, the original thing that carried the reel. I don't know what you call that. You know, the big wheels, and it had the for the hose.
Right.
What happened to that?
I'll ask Mr. Kenny Hall and see if he knows if it's perhaps in the old Public Works building.
It
or
was
something.
really large.
And I just wanted to let you ladies know, we are securing the first week of March. There's just 2 events, DAR and Kiwanis, that happen to happen in there during that week, but I'll see if they're willing to relocate into here.
Oh, cool.
They're revolving, they're a monthly type
Oh,
thing, so
okay.
hopefully, it's a year in advance, so
Right.
Hopefully they can do it.
hopefully they can make some small adjustments for us.
In March.
Great.
March 5th, isn't that what we said?
May.
May. Ah, I'm sorry. I'm
May,
so sorry.
March.
But anyway, if that thing can be located, if we wanted to do an outdoor memorial, such as a stone or something, that would be something to put in the park as a display along with the memorial.
They moved it back there behind the.
Sorry, it is May, he just wrote down March,
Okay.
so you're good for May.
Okay.
I have no idea, absolutely none.
I'll try and look when I go back.
Thank
May
you.
of 2025?
Yes, ma'am, May 2025, the very first week you guys will have for the I'm so sorry, the pop-up museum in I'm gonna say it wrong.
Chautauqua.
Chautauqua event.
And I have a problem saying it is spelling it. I have to remember, always put a U with the A, except for the last one.
I
Is
had
it?
to add it to my dictionary,
Yeah.
so it corrects me every time.
So basically, that is the Heritage Commission's, historic centennial event. So for friends, that, just so.
Right, I was
Is the
thinking
actual
they were
event.
June, I don't know why it's last, but maybe did we move it to May? I don't know, I'd have to check with them.
Well, I still want to locate that apparatus, because that's part of, if we ever have a museum, that's something that's,
Well, we will have a museum.
we will. We're speaking it into existence. We are.
Yes, we
Okay. Okay, so anyway, that's important to the city, so that needs to be found.
And it's like a large wheel that they would wrap the fire hose around. So when
Right.
they explain it, I just,
There's a picture of it in front of the original City Hall on Facebook, and it has the original volunteer fire department there with it. And it's like 2 great big wheels, and it's like a wagon where they drug the hose there.
okay, I'll get the guys to start looking for this.
And it used to, up until they shut the fire department down, it sat in front of the fire department over there, the volunteer fire department. They had a little flower bed right out front with it in there. So it hasn't been, missing long. And I'm not saying it's missing, I just don't know where it
We
is.
just don't know where it is.
Right.
We will find it.
Because that's important. I was looking through Facebook Marketplace, and it had the old, I don't know what you call it, little merry-go-round that was out there in the park.
Yeah.
It was out there, and it covered in weeds, and the paint's flaking off, and somebody's selling it for $2,500.
It's expensive, right?
Yeah, it is still there, yeah. You just go to Facebook Marketplace and you'll see it. And I was like, oh, it just kind of made me sad.
That was the one out here.
Yeah, the one that was out here, yeah. That was sad. But that's what I'm saying, with pieces of memorabilia, you kind of want to get a hold of them while you can, you know. And so, and the fire hose thing is one. But we still have to come up with a design for whatever kind of memorial we want to do. And I think there's the only way to start there is with a workshop, because it would have to include Tony and the families.
Right.
Would you like, hopefully you text me back, would you like me to reach out? When would you like to have such a workshop? Is that like future things, like in the next 6 months, or is that soon?
Well, we'd have to have time to prepare whatever the memorial is. If it's small, it'll just be like a shadow box for each department. And like with the police force, the badges in there, and maybe a little plaque with their names. One of the granddaughters has the jacket that belonged to her grandfather. He was the longest serving police chief. And so I think she would donate that to go in a shadow box along with all the badges and things. And then the fire department, it would kind of be the same thing, but they would have to decide, you know, because I don't know the people. And
So maybe like October.
that's the reason why I designated Tony, because he knows everyone on both sides. So we have to see what we would need before that determines the size of the memorial. And like I said, on the small side, it would be a couple shadow boxes that would stay inside City Hall. So we'll see. But we do need, the workshop would be, I would think, contingent on Tony's schedule. And then I'm in touch with some of the people through Facebook, through our Facebook page.
I'll get him a group email for y'all, and I'll have him send out scheduled dates. Or do you want those to start in July, or would you like those potential dates to start in August?
August, yeah, we're all kind of.
Not a problem. I understand. I'm feeling it too. I'm like, oh.
Well, and next year is going to be a slog. We're all going to need energy drinks. I've got some tea for that.
I will make sure he gets that to you guys as soon as he can.
Okay, I lost my thought. Anyway, so as long as if he can just, because I know his schedule's really complicated, and he's the link between the groups. So,
Absolutely.
all right. And then we would plan on doing whatever presentation, do it at the Chautauqua event. And let's see. So the next thing is the update on the City of Keystone Heights and Fort 11 markers.
That is moving along very well. As a matter of fact, I'm putting together a procedure for all historic markers that I'm going to write out for the county, at the county level, as well as for us, so that in the future we know what the steps that need to be taken in what order. Because what I'm finding is right now at the Clay County Preservation Board, we're backlogged with like 11 different markers, and we're trying to fast track the Keystone Heights marker so that it's installed in 2025 during our centennial. Once everything is in its package and handed off to, Tallahassee basically, then it takes 5 months.
Yeah.
So, you really have to lay out all of these things. And because the procedure, there's so many different points of contact with so many different people, it's never been very clear to me. So what I did was first, and I've had many revisions of this marker. But here is the marker for you all to read that I've written out. The constraint is, yes I do. The constraint is that we only have a maximum of 2470. Hi Charlie. Thank you so much for coming. We only have a maximum of 2470 characters with spaces. So that's a two-sided marker. So that really limits what you can say. So we formed at the Clay County level a subcommittee, of which was Billy Gould and myself. So we decided, since it was only the two of us, that he would take the Fort 11 marker, I would take the Keystone Heights marker, and then of course, other people decided to jump in on board when we were like almost done. And so once you start having other people put their 2 cents into any project at the very end, it changes things. Some very good ideas though, some other things that we just had to, move, take out. So the idea with the Keystone Heights historic marker, and I'm just going to backtrack because you just jumped in, Charlie. We're trying to get this historic marker that Keystone Heights does not have as a city installed in 2025 during our centennial. So this is being really fast-tracked. Since it takes, once everything is prepared, takes 5 months to have it done and made and installed. So with that said, what we need to do is first we write up what the marker should say, and after going through many revisions, and again, we're only meeting once a month, so it goes to everyone on the board, they look at it, and then we don't really discuss it outside of the board meetings, so everything goes to Beth Carson at the county level, who is amazing, and she then sends it to all of us, we make other revisions, then it comes back to me and we make those edits and changes. So one of the ideas was that we would, not only do we have the issue with the exact, word count and space count. Right now, this version has 4242, and the maximum is 4270. There was no other way to use, 30 other things. So the idea was to give an overall view of how Keystone Heights was established, who established it, and then it talks a little bit about the inn. And even though we do have a full marker for the inn, the people that might see this sign may never see the sign over in the park. And so you have to kind of say a little bit about the inn because of its prominence in Keystone Heights. Then we talked about the pavilion. We talked about Camp Blanding's influence on Keystone, which at many levels was very influential in this. And then how the city grew, and then where we are from there. And that is in 24, and it's not 24 letters, it's spaces count, punctuation counts. So
One
if-
word could be
right,
20,
if you
20 spaces.
read
You might
through,
want to put amphitheater here.
where's that? Outdoor, I have letters for that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You might want to change the site to the amphitheater.
Okay.
Because that was very important.
Well, that was the reason for me bringing this to you all, because another set of eyes, as well as, we're taking ownership of this. I represent District 4, so I'm Keystone Heights at the county level. I want to make sure that, we're represented, so how could I not take this back to the Heritage Commission? So that is where was that?
It's right here on the front page, right there.
So at an
Stone
outdoor
amphitheater.
amphitheater. Take outside.
Okay.
It's still, yeah.
Okay, excellent. And if anyone can go through this when you have a chance and then email back to maybe Christine any changes that you see, and then Christine can take all those edits and send them back to me.
Okay.
That would be great. But basically what we've done so far is that $5. Fine. We filled out the historic marker application, which is the first step. Then we write out the marker information, and then we we have to take this because we have to get an ownership letter from the city, because where we're going to be placing this marker is on city property. If it was on private property, then it's a whole other thing, but it's still an ownership letter from the individual who owns the property where the marker would be placed. Then we have to come up with all the sources of documentation. Every word that I put in to this marker has to be documented where the source of that came from. That's a whole other piece. Then there is a master site file form that has to be completed, as well as presenting this to the August City Council, or it's possible it's most likely going to be the September City Council, because the Clay County Preservation Board does not meet in July. And so our first meeting will be the August 1st, the first Thursday, and our City Council for Keystone meets August 5th, which is the first Monday. So if I get everything and all my ducks in a row by August 1 for them, and they approve everything, then I can come back to the City Council in August and get it done. If not, then it would be in the September agenda.
Absolutely. I can hold off on publishing until the second or third to wait for that piece. If you couldn't get that in time, the next time would be September 9th.
Okay, and I will let you know. Then we need a photo of the location that's approved by the city. So once the city says, yes, Heritage Commission came up with 3 locations, this is the one they want, then we have to go and get a photo of that location and the GPS coordinates using Google Earth. That all then goes into documentation, and then all of this information gets compiled, goes to the county, and then it goes to the state, because these are state markers. So you can see why there's just
A lot of layers.
a lot of layers.
City council meetings were also held there till 1963. We
Thank
got
you.
this building. You what?
Yes, thank you, put that in there.
I
don't know
did.
if I don't know if I have enough letters.
Yeah, well, it's,
I'm out of letters.
okay. Well, that, I just took up, how many there?
It's over 30.
Don't tell me you need more letters.
I do, I need more letters. I'm getting to the point where after like 25 revisions of this,
Yeah.
that I can go, nope, that won't fit. But anyway, so I'm thinking that with the markers, what we want is something that would be seen from the road. It also has to be something that is going to have enough parking so that someone who decides they want to read it don't just stop in the middle of the road, you know, say on that curve, right? So
There's an app for that.
I'm sure there is.
I have an app, I can pull up all the markers and before I ever get to an area.
Well, what I'm thinking is for Keystone, what might not be nice is, remember when somebody crashed into it and it was demolished, but remember right here at the corner of Lakeview on the beach side, there was a Welcome to Keystone Heights sign, and they had, you know, like
I was just looking at a picture of that. I wondered what happened to that.
someone ran into it, smashed.
Oh, because it was just like disappeared,
Yeah.
okay. That's what happened.
It was a car accident. So maybe someplace like that would be great, because you would get foot traffic from all the 4th of July and all the different events that happen in Keystone. And then anyone that's going over to the beach would see it, as well as there's parking. So I was just thinking that might be a nice spot.
Mhm.
I didn't want to put it in the park because we already have one over there, and it's really hidden. Like, you would never see that marker unless you're in that park. And I don't want that to be with the city of Keystone Heights. And, you know, I want it to be seen from the road, just like you would if you're in Middleburg or Orange Park or Green Cove Springs, or any city within the state of Florida has a marker. And how we don't have a marker
Maybe
is-
they can carve out a spot in the new triangle that they're doing over there. You know,
Here's the reason
at
for
the
not
beginning.
doing that, because that,
They
I
can't
thought
read
that.
it?
No.
Okay.
The reason for not doing that is because most likely they would say, and this is just my thought, Charlie, you would probably agree with me, but it would be postponed because they would want to wait until the whole project was finished.
Before they put the marker in.
And I would rather have it put in here and move it down the road than to wait for that project to be completed before we put the marker.
I agree.
Yeah. So could I take just a minute or two, and I want to get back out of y'all's hair.
Okay.
I've got a councilman in my office. I was trying to help on something else. But I just wanted to add one fine point of clarity. As I'm digging out of a lot of things that just weren't sufficiently addressed in years past, I want to, and the clerk's job is very well defined. It's in charter, and she is the Heritage Commission liaison.
Okay.
But before we talk about committing the pavilion for a week, all the setup that would be required, because I got it, all you guys like public works, and I like them to do work too. I just need to look at all those dates and mesh, and if we've already made commitments to people, see if they don't mind moving, because we've probably already taken deposits, and I probably signed my name to something and given my word, so I just wanted to add that point of clarification. I'm not in any way saying we're not going to be supportive of the Heritage Commission or do generally what y'all want to do. I just want.
You're just trying to keep your word.
No, and that's, that's good information.
I mean,
Yeah.
the motive,
Yeah, that's helpful.
The motive serve, I mean, is probably the biggest consideration of when they want
Yeah.
to do it. If you're not,
Yeah.
traditionally, they've been doing it on Mother's Day, but if you're gonna ask them not to do it on Mother's Day, there's only those two weekends is what we're asking for as well. So.
Yeah, I'm going to try to sort silly things out, like not doing stuff on Mother's Day, Father's Day.
Yeah.
4th of July is a whole different deal. but,
Right,
Right.
yeah.
You know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
We used to make guys come to drill in the National Guard on Mother's Day and Father's Day, and
Yeah.
wondered why we had such falling apart families. I'm like,
Yeah,
come on now.
right.
But also, let us know about
Smart.
Public Works, because we can get commitments from volunteers.
And that's always preferable.
Yes.
However,
they-
access to the things that we
Right.
need will require public works.
So we can coordinate on that. We do have people we can bring in. We have families. You know, we can draft people.
Yes, ma'am. I've carried a lot of that stuff around.
And they'll be happy to do it. We know the Public Works works hard. So, you
No,
know.
I'm not trying to keep them out of it. I'm just trying
Right.
to sequence all the.
Just let us know. Just let us know and we'll work with it.
All right. Thank you. Sorry to come in
Okay.
and interrupt. but
No,
Ms.
thank you.
Murphy, I think you're exactly right on the triangle, because I thought about it for about 5 seconds. I'm like, no, just let DOT do it.
Yeah.
Yep, let them do their thing. Because down the road, if that looks like a better location and makes more sense,
Right.
then we can move it. But moving it will be easier than waiting for that whole project to be completed. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
So anyway, that is, now with regards to Fort 11. Fort,
Just,
Go ahead.
sorry,
I'm
just
s-
to
go ahead.
finish up on what he said. And it doesn't mean that we can't still plan, we're gonna still plan for May for,
Yes.
you know, the event. Just means that we don't know the exact date.
Right.
So still do the workshops, yada, yada, yada.
I would
Yeah.
plan for the first week of May. We're
Yeah.
gonna try our best.
Okay, yeah.
Because that's going to be a
How
lot.
was the attendance with the motor surf this year compared to?
It was pretty limited this year, all because it mainly
Mother's
new
Day.
staff, we didn't know what we were doing, we didn't know, you know, the proper ways to advertise, we were all learning on our feet, and again, it was on a very bad weekend as well, so I think at max I saw 60, 70 people come, which was, I thought was pretty good considering the
Yeah.
time. Hoping next year's a lot bigger.
Yeah.
But again, it was a lot of us, we just didn't, we're improving with every event,
Yeah.
but that one was not one of our best.
Mm.
We're gonna make it up to Motor next year.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we do every year with new events, you know.
Yeah.
The first
It's a
event is
learning
kind of
curve.
an experiment.
Yeah.
You throw it out there, and if
Yeah.
it doesn't,
It was
you know,
definitely a big
yeah.
learning curve for us, and thankfully they're pretty self-contained, so
Yeah.
there wasn't a lot of planning on us, but the advertisement definitely fell through, so we're trying to correct that moving forward, especially with 4th of July, you know, upcoming
Yeah.
events, we're trying to do better.
100%.
every time you do an event,
Yeah,
like
it
the
just gets better and
second,
better. Yeah.
second year of doing the, you know, student event, it was like smooth.
Yeah, it's a lot easier.
It was
It was a lot
so
of fun,
much
yeah.
easier,
We do look forward to
you
next year
know.
on that one.
Yeah, that's gonna be so
Well,
exciting.
and then adding McCray to that is
Yeah.
going to be the
Yeah.
challenge for
You
next
guys may
year.
have started something.
Speaking of the, I heard parade, I don't know if you said parade, but.
Me? No.
You know, they're looking for applications, they only had like 10 applications applications the last time I heard, so for the parade.
Parade.
Yeah. You're in it? I was gonna say, should we do a Heritage Commission
We
thing?
usually get them later too.
Well, we're doing the pie
No, we
contest.
have the pie
The week
contest.
before, that's when we start getting hit with a bunch of them. For the parade. Talking about for the 4th of July parade.
Okay.
Yeah, you've got the 5K run, you've got the pie contest going on at the same time.
Too much.
For Kiwanis, yes,
You need a
yeah,
driver
and we
for
have, we've had
You need
a
a
couple
driver
people
for
who come in just yesterday.
Helen's in
Good,
there.
Good, I shared it, so.
But it's,
Helen's in
but
the
it's a
parade.
real
Helen,
team.
Helen Hersey Realty.
Every year.
She's a staple, she's, you
I know, it's great.
Okay.
We get John to
We should
march in
advertise
his
once in a
kilts.
while, you know? Oh,
We
well.
can't anymore, we were either picking up or dropping off cones.
I know, I half the time I was judging. Anyway, so, Fort, 11, Billy Gould, like I said, had taken on this, and again, he had as many revisions on Fort 11. But at our last meeting, subcommittee meeting, we had another person called Tom Parham. I don't know if you all know who
I'm
he
acquainted with
is.
him, yeah.
He's a historian, and he had an incredible amount of research on Fort 11. And so we are working with him and the rest of the team for Fort 11.
He's the best person to do that, he really is.
And so,
Hi.
hi. So that is the update on the historic Keystone Heights marker as well as the Fort 11 marker. So I guess we could just move on to the next item.
Right.
Thank you for doing all that.
It's
Thank
more
you.
than meets the eye.
Okay, well, Mr. Lewandowski is our liaison for the Chautauqua event.
Oh, I am?
Yes. See, you were out of the room.
You,
Okay.
you had expressed interest when I was doing my report, and I said I would bring it up with the Heritage Commission and see about doing a Chautauqua event at the beach
Uh-huh.
next May.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so.
It'll be in
For the
conjunction
centennial.
with the pop-up museum, so we'll have a Chautauqua event that will, have speakers and all that kind of thing in
Wow.
addition, so.
And then we'll have the pop-up museum at the pavilion with all the memorabilia
Wow,
for that weekend.
okay.
So you're gonna be CC'd on it because you said you wanted some input.
I'm gonna be, the what of it?
The liaison to the city council.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We try to keep everybody informed, so if we've got, like, Tony's working with us on the firefighter and police memorial, and that way, we all kind of stay connected with our
Okay.
varied interest.
And at the last Melrose each month, first Friday of the month, they have a arts tour in Melrose. And I was at that event last Friday, Friday before last.
It was last Friday.
Thank you. And I talked to some of the artists that were showcasing their work, and I told them about our Chautauqua event, and they were all thrilled about it and asked if they could bring their art to display during the Chautauqua event, because that would be really in keeping
Right.
with what Chautauqua was all about. And so, so we're working with them as well.
Have you been in the community center? It used to be the senior community center, and
Yes.
if you behind the old yellow building, they've done an amazing job in there, and they have art all in there, and they have artists that come in there, and they do actually breakfast and coffee, and they've done a very nice job
Yep.
in there. So
Where's it?
In
In
Melrose.
Melrose. you know right past Blue Water Bay, there's that two-story yellow building, right
Yeah.
past
Yeah,
Mossville Hall. but-
Well, I think it's before you get to.
Yeah, but on
Before
that
the
back.
side.
Yeah.
But it's behind the two-story yellow
Yeah.
building. Used to
It's
be
in the
the
back.
Melrose Senior Center, but now it's just their community center.
Mm-hmm.
But I was there the other day having coffee with someone, and they were doing like music lessons on like these, have you seen those? These old wooden, I don't know what they're called. It's like a violin, cello kind of mix thing. I mean, it was so.
But that's
cool.
the kind of
So
thing we can
community
invite
oriented. I
to,
just love it.
anything that would be like
Yeah.
20-ish.
I believe
It'd be great if we
Ms.
had a
Drew Bell is
community
currently
center.
working with them to showcase some of their art within City Hall. So
Oh, right.
there's already a olive branch out there, so.
I think, and we're really gonna, we need a list of speakers for the event.
We talked about having some of the people doing their stories.
Right.
Being speakers.
I think that once we get, you know, through all of this next, you know, few months, that we can create a subcommittee for the museum and the Chautauqua, so we can have a workshop and sit down and kind of grind through all of this, because there's just too much to talk about in one,
Right.
in one meeting.
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
Mr. Councilman Lewandowski, when you have time, would you please compose an email of available dates between August and September for a workshop for a Chicago event? So these ladies can schedule around you and your availability?
We
Okay,
schedule around
August-
our council people.
August, October, just
August
sometime
and
in.
September.
Yeah.
Right.
Before October.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
All right.
That way we can schedule some good workshops.
Right.
okay.
All right. So are we done with the the markers?
Yes.
Yeah,
I did, I talked about Fort
I'll
11.
send you an email reminder.
Okay. He also would make a great speaker. He does, he emailed me about
Oh,
a
yeah.
lecture that he is doing, that he does on, I mean, he has various topics
Yeah.
that he has lectures for.
And he's a good speaker.
Let me know what you
Yeah.
guys, well, I'll just watch.
He watches on, okay.
We have a full agenda here. It's
Yeah.
gonna.
Yeah,
It's
I
bad.
know, I've gotta go help over at the Mission and Dirt Road for Kiwanis, so I gotta go down by 11:30, so gotta rush.
Thanks,
Okay.
But if
Debbie.
there's anything you guys need me to do for the pie,
The,
let me know.
the,
The pie baking.
No,
thing.
we've
I
got
think
it.
we've
We
got
got
it
it.
all covered. If you're gonna show up, that's good.
Bring a pie.
We'll have
Enter.
our- Hey, maybe I will.
You should enter.
We'll be doing our Friends of Keystone thing there too. hopefully
Right,
with
you'll be
shirts
next
and-
to us, I think.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it would be great if we could keep
Yeah.
it together.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Drew's already, I met with Drew earlier, just kind of on a side note, and we walked over and I showed her where we were before and all of the things that
Yeah.
we need for,
I have a picture of
for,
that.
I do too.
Okay, good, good.
And all of the things that we need for, that pie eating contest event,
Okay.
of which is
I
the
love
next
being
thing
right there
on-
by the, are they gonna be doing the hot dog eating contest?
Is that gonna be right next to us?
I have not heard confirmation of that,
That's
but I know they reached out to Johnny's. to see
Yeah,
if they were
Johnny's,
interested.
that was a lot of fun being right next to that table.
Okay,
Okay.
pie baking contest.
That was, anyone have anything else to add for the pie baking?
I do.
Okay.
So on the pie baking contest, we have the rules and the judging. We just have to change the date and, not the date, but the time of when we have to have pies there, and then what time we were gonna do the judging. And Drew said she was working on that. And then we have a pie baking contest form that everyone has to fill out, and this is all supposed to be online at this point.
Okay.
And then we have a pie judging scoring sheet, of which we put together, and Drew has all of this, and it's supposed to go on the website for the Heritage Commission. I think we need to put it on our Facebook page as well.
Okay.
And then, so people know what the scoring is gonna be, that they have to fill out the entry form, and that they know what the rules are. Because the rules are very important. It's amateur bakers only. This is not, if you own a professional bakery, no, you don't get to come. I mean, you can come, but your pie is just not gonna be, and you can't just go to Publix and buy a pie. You have to bake
out,
it
guys, I'm
yourself. There you go. Each pie must have an entry form, which is this entry form, and what the recipe is. So we need to know what is in each pie and the recipe. So if you have a family heirloom recipe that you don't want to share, you just don't get to enter. And then right now it said it needed to be dropped off, this was last year, between 10 and noon. And then the winners would be announced at 1:30, but I think Drew has a different timeline. So that just needs to be changed.
Absolutely.
Okay? Now, last year, we gave people, the winners got a little form that just said, oh, you're the winner and you got this. And I thought, who wants that? So I was out in, excuse me, just a minute, dear. I was at Joann Fabrics. Don't go to Joann Fabrics. You can't leave without just, you know. And so I thought this was just so cute and so patriotic and so 4th of July-esque. And then inside, it has all kinds of little baking things. So are these adorable? And then it has a little summer with, you know, and then we have a spatula, and then we have these little spring foam pie little things. And I thought, you know, if someone's gonna win a prize, it might as well be something cute and something relevant.
Yeah.
And so we would probably need to vote on whether or not you want to refund me the $35 or whatever all this is. If you know, we vote to not spend the money from the Heritage Commission, I'm gonna give them this anyway.
I make a motion that we,
But I
that
do
we
have a
s-
receipt.
okay, how much was it?
I don't, oh, thank you, here it is. It was $38.02.
I make a motion that we refund Deirdre $38.02 from the Heritage Commission budget for a prize for the pie baking contest on the 4th of July.
That was 3802, just for the record. Okay, perfect.
Isn't that cute?
Okay, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye. That's okay. We kind of all run this.
Okay, I'm done now.
That's why we're a good team. Okay, passed, motion passed. Okay. Okay, so let's see, next is the stamp replica.
No, nothing new on the stamp replica, just have not gotten to that yet.
Okay, well, we'll keep it on the agenda and just, memorial for the police and fire department, we've already addressed that, and you're getting with Tony for the workshop.
Yes, he has not texted me back, but I will have dates for
Okay.
you guys by the end of the week.
Okay, and historic roundtable in September. We did that last year, so I'm going to stick with the same mailing list, which is basically although I'm going to add, I reached out to Melrose, didn't get a response. I have a new contact with Flora Home. Interlochen has been going through, have you guys heard about what happened to Interlochen?
No.
And I don't know the details, but their Heritage Commission was kicked out of their city hall for being a nuisance.
Imagine.
It was on Facebook page, go to their Facebook page, and it's on there, and so they had to leave. They had a building that was the Little Black School, it's been plaqued there, but it was just no modern conveniences or anything. They had to move all the archives and everything, and so they're relocated there. So they've been in a bit of turmoil lately, so I'm kind of letting it settle.
That was Interlochen?
Interlochen.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't know there was anything in Interlochen.
Oh, they have a very active group, a really active group over there.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, just go to their Facebook page, and it's kind of all on there. But I'll figure out who the contact person is this year, and
Gossip.
it is gossip. But I was like, oh my God, they had to move the archives and everything.
Wow.
So anyway, we'll be adding some more of the small towns, but we had mostly Clay County, Penny Farms, Orange Park was here last year, and so we'll do the same thing. But rather than, it was kind of informal last year, and since going to theirs, they run such a really productive, tight ship with their meetings, we want to do the same thing. And I'll get together with, the husband-wife couple that's with Clay
Bennett's.
County, yeah. Their last name is Bennett too?
No,
No.
is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about the ones that run the Orange Park and the Orange Park Historical Society over there.
Oh, right, I know who you're talking
Hogan?
about. I don't remember their name.
Anyway, I will coordinate with them about, who we need to run that meeting, because they were in charge last time and they did just a fabulous job. But that was also supposed to be our associate members appreciation luncheon. And so, we'll invite them, but I think it's more important to do the networking with the other heritage commissions. So anyway, we'll stick with the same formula. Last year, we used Orange Blossom. We wanted to rotate all of our catering. Before that, it was Clyde's. Anybody have a suggestion for this year? Just to get something on paper?
Clyde's.
We can't do Clyde's again. We're supposed to be rotating.
Oh. I know that they're so good.
Orange Blossom was
Was good too.
fabulous.
Yeah, they were good too.
I think
They
Blue
were.
Water Bay.
Sure, Blue Water Bay.
Yeah, deal with Byron.
Well, I mean, we can ask a couple, we can get
Well, we can,
estimates from a couple
yeah, we
people.
can do Blue Water.
I mean, there are people outside of restaurants that cater, like, I don't know, country caterers or.
Is country catering
I
still a
don't know if
thing?
they're still in business or not, but.
Yeah,
Are
They
they the
are.
ones that do the ribs and stuff? I
Yeah.
believe they are.
Yeah.
Country caterers? Well, okay, so
Do
we'll,
you know someone?
You know, I just seen Johnny's is always good.
That's true, and Johnny's a huge supporter.
And
of-
Johnny's does
support the city a lot.
Johnny's does
Maybe
the
we
League of
should do-
Cities ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's,
Why
yeah.
don't
But
we
no,
do
what I'm
Johnny's?
saying is, I'm trying to give the other restaurants a shot.
okay.
Right.
That's the whole purpose, is having a different person every
Right.
time. Johnny's just did League of Cities.
How about Cedar River?
Yeah, I was about to say, see.
Oh, yeah.
I
Cedar
can,
River's great.
or country caterers, you know, if country caterers are good,
Either one, I can say, my brother works at Cedar River, so you can't go wrong.
Do they
Country
cater?
Caterers is wonderful, yeah,
they cater, let's try Cedar River then. They're,
Either
we-
one of them's a great choice.
We want
Can't
to, we,
go wrong.
yeah,
They're
we,
really good.
we want to
They're
equally
really
support our local
Open
businesses.
to working with the community as well, so.
Okay, so we'll put that one on paper to approach Cedar River for catering that event. Okay,
And we had, about dates for that as well.
we did, it was on our
Yes. And I think, I want to say they were able to isolate that date. for you
September,
guys.
I think it was like the 21st or something.
Yeah. it was-
September 21st?
Yes.
Yeah. 21st. Okay.
Well, let's wait. If it's the 21st, we can have our meeting on the 17th and finalize, you know.
You wanna rearrange the meeting?
Last minute things. I think we asked for the 14th and the 21st on availability.
I'll double check the calendar and then I'll also tell my brother, hey, look at this date, get with your boss and then get back to me.
All right, contact
Heritage
people are
Commission.
nice.
Historic Round
Mr.
Table.
Brown just stated he's in
Pavilion.
Gainesville, so he's sorry he won't be able to attend today.
But I
Okay,
would say that kind of time is of the essence with the date for September because we're 2 months out.
Let me
Right.
double check and see if they have it scheduled, just give me 1 second.
Okay.
I
No
thought we
motions
had
until I
already,
return,
no,
okay?
okay. I thought we had already settled that date, but I
Does
guess
anyone know
not.
when the next Lake Region Prosperity Partners meeting
It's Thursday.
is? Is it Thursday,
Let's see, so
It's the
the,
27th.
the 27th of June, June 27th? Just FYI, Kim Morgan is the speaker then.
oh, okay, June,
27th, and it's at the Pavilion at 5:30? 5:30
June 27th.
at this LRPP. at the
Okay,
Pavilion, 5:30.
LRPP.
So that would be another opportunity for you to speak with her. just
And
right
Kim
here in
Morgan,
town.
yeah. Let's see, and 5:30? 5:30, okay, 5:30. Who are we on? Okay, so, yeah, the 17th is our meeting for August, so that'll be, right?
August or September.
Oh, shoot. I told you, my brain, I'm on the verge of burnout here.
Oh, good.
Let's see, 17th is in September also. Isn't that so funny?
September,
I think it's the 20th in August.
Wait a minute, let's see.
it's the 20th in August
We're looking,
is the third
I thought we were
Tuesday.
looking at September.
No, we are. Our Heritage Commission meeting in August is the 20th. In September, it's the 17th.
Right.
And then we were looking at the dates in September for the luncheon would be the 14th through the 21st.
Yeah, I thought she nailed it down for the 21st, but she's gonna confirm. Okay. Do I have, yeah, I don't even have the.
But we're not gonna do any motions, but while we're waiting on her, I just, well, here's. No
I'm so sorry, I
motions.
don't see it. What day did we say we wanted that? September?
21st.
21st.
21st, yes.
And that's a pavilion rental, correct?
Yeah.
Pavilion rental. It's free. I'm gonna go give this date to Drew. We're gonna get it locked right now.
Yay!
Thank you
Okay,
very
so the
much.
21st,
And that is for which event?
that's for the Historic Roundtable. That's the meeting of all the Heritage Commissions in the 4 county areas.
Okay, I apologize.
At what
I'll have that
time?
fixed in 30 seconds.
We had it at, was it 11 last time?
Yes,
Yeah, like
I think,
11 to
yeah,
11.
because we, yeah,
So
serving
10
lunch.
to 2? No
Yeah,
problem.
okay.
okay.
2 to
21st of September. 10 to 2. Okay.
So if I heard her correctly, what I was, is that the luncheon itself is from 11 to 1, but the prep time to reserve the pavilion is 10 to 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because the meeting itself takes about an hour, but if we can get, there was a woman who ran the last one. She's a teacher. Do you know who I'm talking about? She just, I mean, she runs one of the best meetings, it's not like me. I mean, she is like, she moves it. She's really good. I'm gonna approach them and see if they will run that particular meeting. Otherwise, I'll be there till 3.
I apologize. It looks like Mr. Hart has it scheduled for 11 for
Ah.
a band on the 21st, but the 14th is available and the 28th is available.
Okay, let's see. How about the 28th then?
Okay, we'll get that done.
Yeah, let's do the 28th.
All right, let me give that date to Drew, and that way you're all sealed and delivered.
Is that date good for everyone, the 28th?
28th okay for you? Okay. Okay. All right. So like I said, I'm gonna speak to Mr. Hogan. I think they have an event coming up. I got an email from them,
All right,
so I'll see him then.
Yay.
Okay, and because these roundtables are just so informative. Everyone learns from everyone and the networking and stuff, and
Yeah,
and
it's very good.
we don't have to reinvent the wheel with a lot of things. Not to mention, we all keep each other informed of our events, so we don't overlap.
Do you know approximately how many people to expect?
We
We had
prob-
30 last year, did we? Was it about 30?
Yeah, well, I think it was somewhere around there, and so I would say 50 max.
50 max.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure we let Public Works know exactly what they're setting on.
Yeah, I think it's probably, I'll let you know, because I send out invitations early and get RSVPs. I require RSVPs.
Thank you, Ms. Booth.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
I need to know what to expect too. Okay, because I mean, we do the floral arrangements for the tables and things like that, so. Next thing is Boo on the Boulevard, which will duplicate what we did last year, but I think, I don't know, it was unclear because it was held at my house at the driveway. So this year, my big backdrop finally came in, and so I have that, which I donated to the Heritage Commission.
That was so fun because your driveway looked like $1 million. I mean, she had so many people coming, you know, just taking photos there because it was hay bales. And it was
Well,
just-
I always go
I mean,
all
it
out
was
for
so cute.
Halloween anyway. And so this
It
is
was
just,
great.
plus I have a Halloween party going on in the back too. So, you know,
It was
everyone's
nice
got
to
fun.
have the Heritage Commission. I think this year what we need is the banner.
Yeah, we didn't have the banner
We
last
didn't have
year.
the banner, so I think having the Heritage Commission banner out would be nice, and then people could take the photos with the banner kind of in the background too.
Right.
You know,
That was our first event last year, and
Yeah.
so what we learned from that was some sort of clear direction, because we have the parade, was there, no, the Boo on the Boulevard
Boulevard.
going on here. And then there was, I don't know, are y'all gonna do the movies again?
I'm uncertain, we have not started talking about Boo on the Boulevard yet. That's
Okay.
gonna probably start the second week of July after we wrap up Fourth.
Mhm.
But hopefully by the next meeting, I'll have an update for you guys
Okay.
as to what the city is planning.
Well, as a long-term person here, I can tell you that it's changed year for year. COVID had a huge impact. So it was all downtown, and then one year we had a band here and everything, and it was absolutely fabulous. And then COVID hit, and it was just like
Wiped
nothing.
out.
And so these last couple years has been rebuilding, but last year, there were quite a few of the children did not show up downtown. It turned out that they have moved all of the heavy-duty trick-or-treating to the golf course, or the golf, the houses out there by the golf course,
Right.
and much fewer here, so that, it's
We
kind
need
of,
the consistency back, where this is what we do for Boo on the Boulevard.
everyone
instead
was
of it being,
confused, yeah,
you
there was a
know,
lot of
everyone's-
confusion.
I think part of that issue, it relates to the date that
Yeah.
the event is held on.
Because it's different than Halloween. We've got a date for Boo on the Boulevard, and then it's not held on Halloween. It used to always be on Halloween. So the houses down here,
This is just for that, the roundtable event.
Oh,
If
okay.
Whatever you could be so kind
Okay.
as to fill it out for
All
Ms.
right.
Drew.
Sure.
and the houses down here give out candy for Boo on the Boulevard. They get hit with that, and then they get hit with Halloween too. So they're doing Halloween.
Back to back. And
Right.
I'm sorry, just, Board Member Roseanne, sorry, Ms. Collins. Let me clarify, there is no charge, it's just for them to have it in the book, so we
Yeah.
have our paperwork for that.
Thank you.
I agree. Last year we brought the kids down and they were truly disappointed. I mean, we did it for the last 4 years, but last year was
Yeah.
a little sad.
It was, and for the Heritage Commission, ours being over there, we have to find some way to let people know, and I'll put it on
I
the,
think a little sign
Some
maybe
glow in the
that
dark
said-
arrows saying,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
way, or,
Right,
Right.
photo opportunity,
Well, I
Heritage
think-
Commission,
Yeah.
and then an arrow,
Yeah,
something
right.
like that,
We could
Yeah.
look into that signage, no problem.
I think having Boo on the Boulevard on Halloween will consolidate and help the issues we're talking about and take out the uncertainty, especially in the community, because you see a lot of people in the
What day
community
does it
saying,
fall on this year?
What day is Boo of the Boulevard?
right, or what day are kids trick or treating? That's always the biggest question. What day do the kids trick or treat on? It's like, well, even if it's a school night, and especially, things like that. But when you make Boo on the Boulevard on Halloween, it eliminates all.
Guess
all
It's
those
now on a
Friday nights.
Wednesday
because
this year.
then everybody knows
Yeah.
what we're doing.
Right.
It's Wednesday.
Okay, and I apologize for my lack of knowledge on this. Has it always been, Boo and the Boulevard always been like the Saturday previous to?
I don't know.
It was
No.
always held on Halloween
Always.
before.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the thing is, we started incorporating the adults the adults always love Halloween anyway. You just live vicariously through the kids.
Come on now.
Right, but it used to be, I've been doing Halloween here in Keystone because since my children were small, and my oldest is 40, so since they were babies. And, it's always been a big thing. People come from the outside areas because Keystone has always been very safe for children. And it was kind of like this little Norman Rockwell thing here. I hate to see it move out to the golf course or the golf houses out there because, it would be nice to bring it back to town.
Yeah.
Well,
What do we need?
and the golf course is for sale, right?
Is it really?
Yes.
Or is it sold?
Well, it's
It
going
fell
to
through.
be all houses.
Right. It was
It's gonna be all
yeah.
houses? Oh.
It's level.
Well, people I saw
But
said
it
it was
fell
just crazy out there with the kids and the trick or treating.
If you don't get there early, I've been there, I've made the mistake of taking my kids. If you don't get there like an hour before prime time, you're not gonna get in and out of that cul-de-sac. It is that busy in the golf course area during.
And they used to be here.
Right, so
know?
making the event on Halloween, I think
Yeah,
will
I
eliminate,
agree.
so if the council wants to consider that, and I think it will bring the community back and erase all the uncertainty.
Well, and I would make a suggestion that instead of the movie, go back to the band because that involved, everyone. Everyone had a good time. It made it very festive. Last year when we did the movie down there, it's like everything got real quiet, it was just a bunch of toddlers.
Just died down.
You know, yeah, it just kind of killed all of where everyone used to really stay and socialize.
Or you could do the movie and do the band up here, or
Right.
on the boulevard somewhere,
You
or
guys
in the
just are
park.
concerned about keeping people active and engaged.
Yeah, well, this, Keystone was always known for Halloween, and we're losing it. We
Yeah.
really are. And we're losing it to a little place right outside of town here. Everybody's going over there now.
I'll bring that up during my clerk comments minutes
Okay.
in August at the next meeting, and then we'll see if we can get you guys some feedback back. as well.
Okay, we're just giving you input.
Not a problem.
So anyway, so Boo on the Boulevard, except for, like I said, the only thing that can be improved from what we did last year was make sure the banner gets there, and then also more clear signage to divert people over. It didn't occur to me that that would be a problem because we had people everywhere before, and the way it went last year, they were just directed down the boulevard and straight to the park for a movie.
Yep.
And so everything kind of got bypassed.
I made a couple homemade signs and.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
I think I still have them. I save
We
everything.
can definitely coordinate better and make sure they get around the block.
Okay. Okay, so that's that. So there's not a lot of prep work to do for Boo on the Boulevard. Christmas tour of homes.
So, we have now changed gears, as I mentioned in last meeting, from the Garden Club presenting to really the Women's Club now taking on this event with us. And so I think that's gonna be a really significant but very good change. And I'm meeting with them at the Women's Club on July 16th at 5:30 with their new board to discuss them selling tickets. So this will be an event that will be between the Heritage Commission and the Women's Club. So since we cannot officially sell tickets, the Women's Club is going to sell the tickets to the Keystone Heights Heritage Commission Tour of Homes. And then they will use those proceeds to create a sponsorship for the high school seniors, for college or whatever that might be. So it'll be a good, I think, collaboration. And the Women's Club will, and the Junior Women's Club specifically, really is gonna do it. They will be sitting down with me to go over what all that is involved. And basically, they're gonna design the tickets and then sell the tickets. So we're thinking somewhere in the order of like $10 to $15, nothing more than that. The idea is that we do have someone who has taken the time to purchase a ticket and not just randomly, oh, what are these people doing, and let's just go into this home. And so it gives us a little bit more of a secure feeling that we know that they purchased them through the Women's Club. And in the past, we have had, we used this, which was, I thought, very telling, at Keystone Heights Christmas Tour of Homes. This was in 2009 when we did it before. And these went up in all the storefronts. And we're expecting, I'm thinking, between 150 to 200 people coming through all 6 homes. I've actually walked between Nina's house to my house, up down the street here, over to Christine's, over to Carrie's, down to Leah's, and then over to Lisa's. to see how long that would take and which was the best route that actually worked. And we had discussed doing it differently, but this is really the best route, starting with Nina's house and going that way. Because then you end up back at the pavilion where everybody has probably parked their car. So if everyone starts at the pavilion and gets there, they will already have their ticket. The ticket will have a map with the houses on the back. But then we're going to create a brochure.
Can I
Sure.
just a second? while we have it up, is that a confirmed date, our confirmed date with the pavilion? Sweet.
I think we did.
Yes, you
I-
guys did.
I-
okay,
For that,
okay,
yes.
okay,
The
just-
four
Yes.
homes, we finite
Just
that
double
day.
checking that,
I know
okay.
there's been like 4 dates, we're doing good. We're
Okay.
doing good.
So I was thinking we would put something together like this that we could have that would just be easy to change out the homes each year, but have the same format, right? And that we would have a little bit more information about each home, because the ticket's only gonna be so big. And the ticket will say, you know, here's the event, and then there's gonna be rules, you know, such as, you know, no strollers, no smoking on other people's property. You know, we'll go through all those kinds of things. And then we'll prep each owner, and I'll be working again with the Women's Club, because they will actually be like a docent in some of these houses. And so we want them to know more about each home that they're in. And it really helps to think through, and there's only 6 homes. And I know all 6 homes pretty well. So we know the path that you would want to take through each home. But you have to go through that with the homeowner and then all of the people who will be there. And you need people outside taking the tickets, and you have to prepare for what if it rains? What if, you know, all of these kinds of things. But if everyone starts at the pavilion, and then, you know, they could certainly drive, stop their car over at St. Ina's, and then drive down to my house, but it's very walkable. This is really just a matter of 4 blocks, you know, in its entirety. And the only backtracking really is going to Lisa's and then over to Leah's, you know, just going out that way and then back to there. So we have 6 beautiful homes that all are 100 years old and that are all in really nice condition. And so that, I think this event's gonna go along really well. We will need the tour of home signs. They're in storage somewhere, probably back here, but I never know where y'all put them.
I don't, they're not back here, because I've been through that.
Okay.
There's
Well,
none-
they
they're
might
not
be
here.
out, you know, we'll need to
Wherever they put the
locate them.
wreaths, yeah.
They're probably wherever the reeds are. And then, you know, we'll have the signs out as well as the historic banner over at the pavilion, so everybody kind of knows where to start. And we'll be putting out, if we can put together something like this, in all the storefronts, like Ace Hardware and
Can you email me that,
Johnny's.
and then any updates you guys would like, I can update it for you if you let me know what you would like updated.
Right.
I would hate to do anything outside of y'all's box.
Well, and also, we
I
can email this to all the other heritage commissions. In fact, we can probably make an announcement at the,
Right.
at the thing. And
Yeah.
so,
Mhm.
So probably make it like Christmas tour of historic homes with some
Right.
holly or something.
Right.
And,
Yeah, make
you
it
know,
pretty.
Yeah, well,
Mhm.
and just, yeah, update, and then we'll want to put the Women's Club on there somewhere, like
Right.
presented by.
Right.
And
Right.
we're always
Keystone
out and
Shops.
about visiting our local businesses, so it's not an issue for us to hand one of them off and say, hey, do you mind hanging this in the store?
Oh, I'm sure.
And we
Yeah,
are
can
gonna
do
have the
it.
tickets numbered so that we do know how many we're selling and how many, you know, that kind of things, just so that we have knowledge for maybe another type of event.
well, because we have a finite amount of tickets, right? Because otherwise,
It would,
And didn't you
yeah.
say you guys were gonna hold like 10 back for yourselves for emergency?
yeah, we're gonna hold back some because we're gonna take some tickets.
we never get to
Because-
go to anyone's house. I mean, unless it's informally, but this is
Yeah.
gonna be Christmas, and
Right.
everything is gonna be decorated, yes.
Right, and I think that, you know, like, what if, you know, Christine had family in town? Like, of course, she's gonna need to, you know, and if you don't, if you come to the house and, you know, it's your best friend, of course, you're letting them in. But if you don't know them and they don't have a ticket, I don't want anyone just letting people in the door,
Right.
because you don't know what those circumstances are. And that, you know, that's all, you know, part of the preparation and explaining to homeowners, you know, the sick, well, it's actually only 2 that are not on either the Heritage Commission or NINA. So there's only 2 homes we have to talk about.
Well, I think, you know, you make a good point about people coming into homes, so the liability standpoint and whatnot, which would be our homeowner's
Mhm.
insurance, you know, and things like that. So numbering the tickets,
Mhm.
making sure they have the ADA disclaimer, whatnot.
Right.
But I also think that the amount of the ticket, for me, I would say 20, 25.
It's
you know.
too high.
I don't think so. I think $20 is not a lot to, when you're talking about, people coming, doing a tour, Christmas tour of homes, you know, that what.
Oh,
we're putting
anywhere
on.
else it would be 45, yes, but,
Yeah, so I think 20, 25 is you also want them to be serious about it. Do you know what I mean? You can buy, you know, McDonald's, you're gonna pay $12
I get
for a Big Mac meal, you know what I mean? So,
And if you have half as many people, then you still make the same money you would be with
Right.
twice as many.
I mean,
Right.
I know there's a formula for it, you know.
and I'll talk to the women's club
But-
and see what they think, you know, as well, because they're the ones making the money.
Well, yes,
But we're the ones doing the effort.
Right, we're
Yeah.
the ones
Right, yeah.
assuming the risk
Yeah.
and taking on the liability.
And the other thing
So-
too is you should get, what they call is event insurance. So it's insurance for like a one-day event. And it's not that expensive. And it just covers you for a unique experience at your home.
I would, yeah, I mean, it's probably available, you know, I don't know what the cost would be.
It's
but-
not, well, it wasn't
mean,
a lot in the past.
Well, I mean, I do event insurance, you know, for the 5K and things
5K.
like that, it's like $250. But you're talking about going into people's homes. I mean, that's you know, where people have insurance. I mean, I'm
Right.
sure it's available, but I don't think $25 is a lot because we're not allowing children or people under 16. So you're essentially saying adults.
Under 10, I was saying, but,
Oh,
you
okay.
know.
Well, I mean.
It's 13-year-olds.
I mean, like, I can tell, you know, at my house, you know, there's no railings on the front or anything like that, you know, and you have the porch and whatnot, so.
My porch doesn't have railings either.
Yeah.
And we do have that, that's one of the notes that I'm making to the women's club, because I'm writing these things down as I think about it, as I go around the house, and I'm like, oh, I'll write that down, and I put it on this, like, long growing list.
Yeah.
But things such as, you know, you need to secure your firearms, you need to put away all your jewelry, don't leave your passport and your checkbook on the kitchen table.
And
I mean, those
road-off
kinds of-
areas that are not
you know,
accessible.
road
right.
bumping areas that are not accessible, and second story is not going to be
Right.
accessible to anyone.
I know.
So all of those things, but also indicating to everyone who purchases a ticket that there are, you know, cobblestones in some people's driveways. There are no handrails in some of these older homes, you know, that are 100 years old. There isn't a handrail. That there are steps, there are stairs.
Sure.
You know, you can't have a walker and think that you're going into someone's house.
And I think so those are the serious considerations we need to make as a group, not just the women's club making the
Sure.
decisions. The homeowners need to be
Because
involved in the decision.
we have 3 of the
making.
houses right here.
I mean, well, you're talking about, if you're talking about 100+ people going through, that's each house you're
Right.
talking about. So, I mean, we're volunteering our homes for 100+ people to come through, and they are volunteering to facilitate it to make money for a fundraiser. So it's a partnership.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
It's collaboration,
It's
but
a
we're the
collaboration.
ones running it.
We're taking the risk and assuming the liability essentially. So, you
Yeah,
know,
back in 2009, when we did this, my house was on one of the tours. We had over 100 people come through. And so I know from personal experience, we just had someone in every room. So, like, I did the tours, or Haley did the tour through the house, you know, we traded off. But at the time, we still had another person in every room, just kind of eyes.
My house was
Not
on
at
the
my
tour that
house
year too, I think.
that has
Yeah, it was.
anything that anybody would want to take.
Mine
It's
does.
just
I got a
that.
dining room
I
full of
mean,
all kinds of
No, I
I
know,
tchotchkes.
I'm all for
It's
it. I mean,
just-
I'm all for
But
it.
you still want to
Yeah.
have that,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, I think it's a great idea. I mean, I was, you know, facilitating for Christmas or advocating for
Right.
Christmas the whole time. But I think when you, just from experience, when you put the price point at a level where people understand that it's not low cost or a giveaway.
Right.
You-
I see your
You put
point.
the price point at a level that make sure that that they're going to enjoy the experience, but that it's special, like, you know what I mean?
And it is a
Like-
fundraiser, and everybody needs to understand it is a
Right.
fundraiser
Yes.
for the Women's Club.
Yes.
And so with that two things coming together, I mean, I think we should make a motion and vote on it about the price, because then when I meet with the Women's Club, I can say the Heritage Commission has already decided this is the price.
Okay. This is for discussion purposes. I would say $25. That's just my viewpoint on it.
I know we're doing,
It's a,
a meal in Star, can't be political, but you figure it out, Saturday. And that's what we did. We put a price and I mean the tickets sold
well, like
$65
each.
each.
Okay.
That was-
But what, it's a meal, and,
It's a
and
meal, but
what's the event
still-
for though?
Well, it's a fundraiser.
That's-
It's a
fundraiser.
fundraiser, okay, well,
And
people
that's
will
the
do
other
things for
point. It's a
fundraisers.
Right, and
Right.
that's what this is.
But I
It's
also
a
want
fundraiser.
the whole community to be able to see these homes. And it is a community event. And I want it to be affordable enough so that, you know, people that would really want to see the homes can afford it. And, you know,
Well, I would
so
suggest.
I'm thinking more like $20,
I,
but,
I like 20 simply because you're gonna have more than, chances are you're gonna have at least couples going through. So it's a lot easier to fork over $40 than it is 50. At 50, you're starting, you know, that's half of
Make
100.
less change.
well, of all the tour of homes that I've gone on, and I've gone on many, it's almost always women and their girlfriends.
Right.
Yeah,
Very few couples.
Very few couples.
John and I go to them.
I know, but, you know.
I'm speaking
and
for me.
There are,
If I
there
did a
are
tour of homes
couples.
without John, he would have a cow.
No, there are couples. It's just that the majority are women and their girlfriends. And so they tend to go together as a group.
I would be amenable to no less than 20, but I would still say that, you know, I would still advocate for 25, but at the end of the day, it's, you know, the Women's Club. I mean, they may want to charge more.
Well, I think it really does get set by us.
Well, you guys, what do you think for the price?
Does anybody else have any feedback? You go to St. Augustine and pay how much, did you say?
It's 40. But those homes are like phenomenal. They're all like, you know, Nina's plus 10.
And
you
the
know.
garden club decorates
And the garden
them
club
and-
decorates
yeah.
it, and they're like phenomenal. And they're all on the ocean or on the water or on the bay, and, you know, they're incredible.
St. Augustine is his only.
Well,
And they have, you know, the red train taking you from stop to stop and all of that, so.
Karen, what do you think?
I think the 25 is, I just think it's more respectable for the homeowners. I think 25, just because, I mean, it's something that, you know, you can, how do I say this nicely? You're gonna.
You gotta really wanna get there. It's okay. The
Well,
people
you
that
have
are really
a different
enthusiastic
crowd.
about it,
You have a
right.
different crowd.
Right, thank you, Dick.
Okay, so it looks like we've
It
got
looks like
a
it's 25.
25 majority.
Okay,
Yeah.
I will let them know.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Did you guys want to do a motion and vote on that, or are you just gonna unanimously
That's a
say-
suggestion, our unanimous suggestion to give to
I just wanted
the,
to make sure. I didn't-
because
It's a suggestion.
they're selling
Yeah.
the tickets, and
Yeah.
so we can't speak for them.
I just wanted to report it correctly.
That's okay. No voting
But
on that
I'm
one.
suggesting that the Women's Club run an ad in Clay Today, the Keystone Herald and the Monitor, and that they have tickets at the local stores. So that I'm suggesting that the stores, say like Ace Hardware, buy a block of 10. They have them at their counters or, have them at different storefronts.
Ace Hardware collects for
Yeah,
different
the-
fundraisers, yeah.
For, somebody wants to buy a ticket, it's just more convenient if you're already in there. And just have them in some of the shops downtown. And, between the Women's Club and all their members, and the Garden Club and all their members, and those are the people who will be attending, we'll have 100 right just there.
Well, we'll advertise
That's
it with
100.
the other historical commissions too, and so
Right.
those people will want us.
Right. And think, and keep in mind the time frame. This is December 21st.
Yeah.
This is right before Christmas. So this is going to be everyone that you have in town for your Christmas holiday. What a fun thing to be able to do with them. And it's only a couple hours. So,
People can buy them as Christmas gifts.
right.
Ooh, good idea.
Or is it gonna be?
I'm stealing that.
I was Christmas gifts.
During the day.
Well, we need to make sure the reception at the pavilion is really nice. I really would like to have a caroling group there.
Oh, that would be great.
If we can, do we have a group of singers that can do caroling that we can ask ahead of time?
I don't
Anybody know?
anyone.
Maybe Steve Hart would
Yeah, I'll ask Steve. See if he knows.
know. Helen had something to say about the tickets.
I think that people need to know that there's only gonna be a limited amount of tickets.
Right. So
Yeah,
they
we
can
can't
get
have
'em-
1,000 people coming through.
Well, so they can get them early,
Yeah.
Well,
they're gonna start
That way we
selling
can
them.
plan.
I said that, my suggestion is to begin selling the tickets in October. So that all the tickets are already sold, for the event. That we already know how many people in advance. Because if they start selling them in October and they're sold, say, by the end of November, early December, then we'll have a good track of,
Would you like the cutoff ticket maybe be like December 14th, so it gives you a week? to
I don't
count
think
down?
if there's a few more sold, that would matter.
Okay.
But, that's my suggestion, to them.
I think, do we want to set the number of people, the number of tickets?
Well, wasn't it,
I think, no more than 200.
yeah,
I don't think.
I think we've
I
already
don't think
figured
I'd
out,
be exhausted.
by the time by the time the first person, starts, and that's an exact time, and then you've got to figure when the last person is going to end the last tour, and that's how we figured out,
Right, the
you know,
timeline.
because you can't go after dark, and so we wanted, and so it was, I think it was, that was for timing for 100. If we do
Right.
200, it'll be even longer, so.
Well, when I did the walk, I
Yeah.
walked and I timed how long it took me to just on a saunter walk, how long it took to get through all the homes. And with 6 houses, and we were thinking 30 minutes in each house. Now Nina's probably, they'll be there longer, in my house, because it's so small, they'll be out of there faster. But overall, 30 minutes for each house, and then 40 minutes for the overall walking time. So it was about 3 hours and 40 minutes for the whole tour. And, that's almost, 4 hours. So, if you start at one time and you want to have the last person entering the house, I think we talked about it being like 3:34, because
I
that-
think it was
that-
at 7:30.
right, because it's going to be dark by 5.
This will be the new time.
Yeah.
It'll be dark.
Right.
Yeah.
It'll be dark, and everybody needs to be able to safely walk back to their car. And,
So we're gonna have to cap it at 200,
yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
because
Okay.
that's maximum.
Max.
Because even if you did groups of 10 at 30-minute intervals, that's 7 to 8 hours for the 200 people to have enough time to go through.
Yeah.
And that's small groups. If you increased it to 20, I mean, you get a little more wiggle room, but not much.
These
So you're
houses
saying
are,
150 would be better?
again, I've never done it. I'm just trying to do based on her timeline and stuff, if you're
Well, if
doing-
we start earlier, then we can, finish earlier.
Absolutely.
So we could start a little earlier at 10:30. And not everyone's gonna go to every house.
That's true, too.
Keep that in mind. They're gonna go, oh, we wanna go here, we wanna see the Palmetto Inn, because it was just done, or we wanna see the Red House,
I think
so-
they will want it because we've really chosen,
6 great houses.
right, these are some of our best homes and everyone wants to see inside.
Yeah.
100%. And Mr. Lewandowski, since you're here, one of the thoughts we had with the Christmas tour homes was, you had the ideas about the Christmas market and about incorporating that as like, we're going to do this on a Saturday in December. And that if we do have a Christmas market here, that would just draw more people, to do a tour homes as well. So.
Although I think so late at the 21st is probably not gonna be a good time for a market. I
You're
don't
talking about
think-
for this year?
Yeah.
Because we were discussing doing
Oh, for
this-
next year,
We were
I think it'd be
discussing just
great.
moving the tour of homes from Mother's Day, except for next year, you wanted to do 2 because it's the centennial?
No, I thought we were gonna, in lieu of the Mother's Day
that's
tour
right,
of
we're
homes,
doing the Chautauqua. Okay.
And then
Only so
we
many
will
things we
still
could
be
do.
doing another Christmas tour of
Okay.
homes next year, but maybe we could do it,
So it's permanently moved to December,
It's permanently
Chautauqua's
moved,
taking.
right.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay, all right. So the last thing here, the historic tree designation.
And I passed that on to Carrie.
So just a real brief recap. Deirdre did
I'm
send
gonna
me
give
some
you this.
information from
Oh.
Beth Carson. So we were looking at doing it under the county zoning laws, but
you go.
because the tree, I only saw the specific language and then I saw the whole ordinance afterward, and so we wouldn't qualify because the jurisdiction of the city. So, but then there was another idea about designating it as a champion tree, which is a broader state program, and so we're going to look at it that way. So I'm gonna go down the rabbit hole of the champion tree.
And I have all the
follow
forms
that.
in there.
Yeah, and then we had also discussed doing a marker at some point in time, but the city and the Fort 11 marker is obviously taking precedence over that right now. So I will follow up on the champion tree and designation and how we do that through the state, and that's where we're at on that.
Thank you so
You're
much,
welcome.
and I appreciate you doing it. If I can just say one thing, I just got, 2 things I have to say. Firstly, I would just like to say thank you to Christine Arnold for championing our Facebook page. We have received so many phenomenal, everyone that's on Facebook, to have a Facebook page where there is no negativity, everyone is positive, everyone is so excited about the Heritage Keystone Heights and about all of the things that you post in the pictures, and I'm just so proud of that and proud of you, and thank you for taking this on, and it is amazing to see that almost every day we have a new post, and it's exciting.
Oh, and the information, the feedback, the information that
It
we
is
get from
amazing.
people that post and contribute also. And that's what we wanted, was a way to, to get some of the information back. But and all this, it gives us a great place to advertise
Absolutely.
what we're doing.
And the last thing I just want to mention is that the Historic Society of Penny Farms put together this little 6-panel, and this was put together by the county. So I thought that the county might be willing to do something like this for us, and that's something we could talk to Kim Morgan about.
Okay.
And
I've
we
got
could
a list for
also
her.
put on
Brochure.
and this would go on to almost everything that we're doing now eventually. There's a new employee at the county level called Heather, and she is going to be responsible for doing all of the, she's like the public information officer, and she is going to be handling all the QR codes. And QR codes have really changed over the last few years because, and their popularity is because of this. And so if we can have the QR code on every little thing that we send out, it will give them links to information about Keystone Heights, about the Heritage Commission, about all the historic homes eventually. And we do have something like this that's out front, but it's extremely outdated. It doesn't have our correct dates as far as when we meet,
No, I think
where
that
we
was,
meet.
that was updated, yeah, she
It's
updated it,
updated,
yes.
okay. But we do need to review that and come up with something maybe a little bit
Oh, the county
nicer.
could do much better than I did, let me tell you right now.
Okay, so I'm just saying that this is something that we might
Well,
want to consider.
I'll put that
down
on my list when I,
Right, down the road.
when I talk to her about the, because they'll have all of our
And they would be
information.
developing the QR code to go with that? or
Yes,
something
and in
for-
fact, that was one of the
Right.
things that they need for the walking tour. They're gonna give us a QR
Well,
code for
when
that
they
too.
develop that, I'll start adding that to the minutes and agenda so people get used to seeing it.
Okay.
Right.
Public eye.
Great.
Okay.
How's the webpage, the city webpage developing?
So I just spoke to, I'm blanking on his name right now, the new webpage that we're developing, we should see a, what do you call that? A pseudo site in about 2 weeks. And we just sent him a bunch of pictures that we had to take. We didn't have anything non-copyrighted of the city. So we sent those last week, so now he's working on the background to make it pretty. So we should be seeing that hopefully by next month.
Is there a possibility we have the space for the Heritage Commission to link with the city webpage so that, I mean, right now, I'm putting our entire database onto Facebook, but if something happens to that,
Absolutely.
so
Let
we
me-
have it in perpetuity.
Yeah.
My biggest fear is that something happens to that account. I had a scare. I called and said, "Oh my God, I got this thing." It was spam, but it was something about our files being corrupted or whatever. And so I'm putting all of our data in this one spot, and it's really out of our control. It would be so much better if it went someplace with
Absolutely.
the city.
I'll reach out to him and I'll CC you in an email and maybe you can tell what your dream is to, what you would like to see. 'Cause
Right.
I've had him, we don't have a records request page, believe it or not, so that's something I worked with him to build. So we can build anything you would like for the heritage, it's just, I'd rather you talk to the actual
Right.
individual doing it because you can tell me what you want and I'm not gonna be able to read
Just
it.
some place to put all this information, because right now it's in here and there's a lot of duplication and everything. I mean, I take the information from here back to my files. If I get hit by a bus, you
Right.
guys are out of luck, you
Right,
know?
absolutely.
There's nobody to interpret this
I'll
stuff.
get you connected with him,
Right,
not a
so I just
problem.
want to put it someplace permanent.
Not a problem.
Okay, so let's see, historic tree designation, that was it. And Stephanie's looking into, Thomasville has an app where you can take a picture in front of the tree using your phone. So you can stay and do selfies. And so anyway,
It's been passed on to Mr. Van Zant, and he's taking a look at it. It's future things, but we are looking
Right.
for how to make it happen. 'Cause that's the confusing part. What kind of stuff would it have to run through so you're not getting inappropriate pictures?
right.
You know, so it's-
I'm sure because Thomasville's already done it, they probably.
Yeah, there's probably
they-
a great protocol.
I'm sure they've done all the legwork on that. But I have people out there all the time. I've told y'all about Goat Lady last time. And they're always taking pictures and everything. That would just bring more, and it would bring more attention to the tree.
I agree. It's just
and the
gonna take
park.
some research
Yeah.
and for Mr. Van Zant to figure out exactly how we put restrictions on that without being too
Right.
restrictive, if that
Fil-
makes
Some
sense.
sort of filter, yeah, I'm sure there's some sort of filter. With AI, you've got just about
There's-
everything.
yes.
No body parts.
They'll put an extra hand in there.
Okay, anybody have anything else to add?
I have a couple of things.
Okay.
So we have public comments on here.
Yes.
Did you have anything? Okay. So Friends of Keystone Heights is doing a calendar, and I'm not
It's
sure.
all ready to print.
Do you have
it's-
any spots left?
No,
Okay.
it's already out, it's being printed as we
Did you
speak.
do the Heritage Commission? or-
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
She's
All
good.
right. Okay.
Saved our heart attack.
So,
Passing on the tree. Just another hat.
so,
And the calendar looks great. I mean, I haven't seen them complete it because Clay Electric is doing that for us. But they're printing 2,500 6-panel brochures, 300 in color and gloss, and then 200 calendars. They are gonna charge us a little bit. That's a Friends meeting, but it's nothing for what they're doing.
Yeah.
So, you could sponsor on the calendars, and they started with friends first, like the people that volunteer and whatnot and on the board. And so, because it's historic, obviously, with the calendar of all the different pictures of Keystone, so it's $100 to sponsor. I spoke to Mr. Commando, and he said there's no prohibition against us giving $100 to be on this calendar. So we would need to make a motion to
Oh.
spend the money.
Okay.
I move that we spend $100 of the Heritage Commission's budget to have an ad on the back of the Keystone Heights Centennial calendar for the Friends group. Do we have a second? A second.
Vote.
Vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Awesome.
And I
Motion
just,
carries.
in all good, and I guess I need to come out truthfully and say that I completely stole Christine Arnold's. She did this incredible talk, and if you were not there at the library to hear this talk, it was amazing about the Keystone Heights history. And that was on last Saturday. It was amazing. And in her event ad, she put the Chronicles of Keystone Heights, and
I can't take credit for that. That was Clay County Library.
Okay, well, I stole your idea, or their idea, and then use that exact photo and Keystone Heights, A Journey Through Time, as the calendar, front of the calendar. So I'm like, yay, Christine. Because we couldn't really figure out, and I chose the same font and everything because it was just so, it was great. It was classic. And so that is the front of the calendar, is the banner that went across, which is now Lawrence Boulevard, with the big welcome sign, and then the inn. And then it says Keystone Heights, A Journey Through Time. And then every single photo in the calendar, each month is a historic, site in Keystone. And now on the very back of the calendar, which, the idea was not really to, you're not going to get much, advertising dollars per dollar because it's going to go on someone's wall and it's going to be on the back. The idea was to promote the Friends of Keystone Heights, the heritage of Keystone Heights. So we were just looking to cover our cost of printing, really, which we did.
Yeah, and the next time you do that, we should get it recorded.
Yeah, well,
100%.
Absolutely. That was a big mistake.
like I said, Janet's already talked about doing it at the women's club, and so.
And so well received. And what was surprising is the amount of men that came. I didn't know men were so interested in
Men love
history.
his- that-
Oh my goodness, the room was filled with men.
I know a lot
But
of
it was
male
packed.
historians.
It was packed. It was great.
Yeah, I was late, but I heard all the good things about it, so.
It's great.
Well, this is, and it's going to be, and I've added some things. That was my first one, so I've added some things. And this is the one that I'm going to pass on to the Heritage Commission. I just have to figure out how to do that because it's such a huge file. There again, I've got to have the tech.
You're amazing with all that.
Oh,
The only thing I know for large files is what they call it, cloud share.
No, see, that's what I do is I like Keynote with Apple, and because wonderful program to use, and so I do all of my editing with that, and all I have to do is have a gaming laptop when I get there and plug into the television, and then I just tap into iCloud, and everything's available on iCloud, but that's through my account.
Yeah,
So in
getting
order
it
to
from one to the other.
Right.
And that's the problem I've been running into, so I've purchased multiple flash drives because that's how I've been living life right now. It's-
Yeah.
if
But
it's
then
too
when
big,
your
that's
flash
not-
drives do not always hold up.
Yep.
I've lost data that way. And
But-
so that's what I'm saying, we've got to have some way to preserve the
But
data.
Christine's talk was really, it was great and very informative, but it was also hysterical because, it's Christine. And so, you know, she talked about, you know, purchasing, if you can even imagine, you know, her plot in the cemetery because she knew everybody there. They were all her
It's
friends.
a true story, true story. I know all those people.
Well, speaking
Don't be surprised
I
if we
mean,
get to talk
it
because
was
I'm
just
like, I
great.
know you.
Everybody loved it. It was such a good morning.
Are you gonna be giving that same speech again soon?
I have no idea what kind of speech oh, you mean the presentation? I have no idea what speech I'll give in the presentation.
When you do give the presentation again, I'll be glad
I-
to film it for you.
Oh, okay, because Janice Gozman asked me about the heritage, or the women's club, giving it at the women's club, and the people at Penny Farms have kind of asked me also. So we'll see how it fits in.
Yeah, if you guys need somebody, I'll be glad to do it. I'm not
Right.
like a game, but I will do it if you need somebody.
There were a lot of people online on the Facebook page that asked if it was a virtual event or something, because they don't live in state.
Absolutely.
A lot of our followers are people who grew up here and they moved to other states, and so they follow us very
Well, if it's
closely.
something that you plan to pass down to the heritage as well.
Yes.
Again, very nice to have it digitally recorded. for you.
Yep.
So speaking of purchasing cemetery lots, but just purchasing in general, we talked about the street signs for the Centennial for the lampposts. And also we talked
Oh.
about bunting for 4th of
Oh,
July.
oh.
Do you guys want to go ahead and approve to spend some funding on that? That if it's here in time, that maybe we can buy some for the 4th and whatnot?
For
If we could get it in time,
bunting for what?
wouldn't that be like a city expense though?
Are you talking about for the city?
Well, for the 4th of July, like if we wanted, for the pie baking, if, you know what I mean?
Well, I
anything
was
like that.
originally thinking all along the banister, all along the fence posts out here. It would be fantastic if we had bunting all along there.
That's city.
But that is city.
Yeah.
That's 100% city. That's not
Oh, for
us.
the pie baking
Well,
or,
we have-
we have our banner.
I bring a long Star Spangled banner that goes across the top of the table.
Okay.
And I think we had, and then we had like some sort of arrangements and stuff like that. So
sounds good. And then what about the signs for the Centennial for the lampposts?
Oh yeah, that somehow slipped through the.
Do
need
we
to work on
did
that.
we want to secure the funding to pay for
Yes,
that?
I do think
Because
so.
our budget runs out in September.
Yeah, we
and
want to
have
make
the
sure.
money to do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, then let's, do you have any figures?
I don't have any figures. It would just be whatever the cost that like the ones up there now, like what they cost, and I'm not sure. Yeah,
Maybe we could get that number from Drew. She might know that, and then
for the next meeting.
for the
maybe.
next
Well,
meeting
the
in
next meeting
August.
is
Those are
gonna-
called banners.
Yeah, they're the ones
They're
that hang
there
on the
for the street
post.
signs, yeah.
The
Yeah.
next meeting is gonna be in,
August.
August.
August
so-
20th.
Yeah, it's not on here, okay, see, August 20th.
I could go.
I will see if I can't get that, some estimates emailed out to you guys this week as well.
Yeah, that way we can have all the, get started on it, have all the ducks in a row for the next meeting if we know exactly how much we've got to vote for.
Not a problem.
Okay, well, this has been a very long one, so,
Yes.
but we knew it, we saw it coming, okay. Because we don't have one next month. Okay, anybody else? Anything else? Here's the proclamation. Okay, meeting adjourned.